This baby bird's mother chose the worst place to make a nest, but thanks to one caring person, a whole team of firefighters arrived to help it. This deer was the only one out of a whole herd that didn't make it across the frozen river. With a temperature of -14 degrees Celsius, the poor soul wouldn't have survived the night. But she didn't have to, because some local workers came to her rescue. Her life is in good hands now. This little one had no chance of surviving on the street if this veterinarian didn't drive by. All its paws had been broken, but now the kitten will be okay. One of these fishermen immediately rushed to help when they saw a colt stuck in the mud. But pushing the 30-kilogram animal wasn't so easy, especially since it couldn't even stand. But the man did his best to return it to its parents.
О, давай, 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 давай. Иди. Все. Все, не трогаю. Я не трогаю. Да.
There they are. She's showing me.
This goat practically begs this woman to follow her, not to show off her kids, but to save their lives.
Oh my God. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Oh my God, what are you doing down here?
Now the whole family is back together again.
Please.
When this tiny monkey got stuck in a fence, its horrified mother tried to keep people away. After all, she thought that they were trying to harm her child, until she realized that she was quite mistaken. No one knew what was wrong with this cormorant and why it was refusing to eat, but this veterinarian immediately realized what the problem was. The bird had somehow managed to swallow a half-liter plastic bottle. Corey sat on the side of the road for 6 hours to attract help for another dog who had been hit by a car. Meanwhile, Matthew didn't give up so he could reunite with his best friend. Any doubts that animals have feelings too? Imagine being tangled up in barbed wire and you hear gunshots. This calf was terrified that humans were coming for it and just couldn't believe they were letting it go. This man saw an injured monkey on the side of the road and just couldn't pass by, a kind act for which the animal sincerely thanked him. Now they will be friends for life. No one knows how long this blue heron had been hanging on a tree before it was found by a kayaker in this deserted place.
Okay.
Just look at how exhausted it is.
This guy's gonna make it. We'll try to get
Contacting rescuers wasn't an option, so the man had to handle it himself. I have no idea how this guy heard desperate cries for help in the middle of the road, but I do know one thing. Without him, one little life would have been cut short. This dog spent its entire life on the balcony and was so emaciated that it was literally falling out through the bars. And it turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to it. Oh, you poor thing. You'll get better soon and find out how big the world really is. It's obvious from looking at this frozen goose that there's nothing that can be done to help it. But this random passerby decided to try anyway. He slowly and carefully warmed the bird until it literally came back to life. This brave little fox had no intention of giving up, and it called for help from his mother because humans can't be trusted. Well, except for this human. Just imagine what birds of prey would have done with this pigeon if the police hadn't noticed it. The situation turned out to be a tricky one, but these pros came up with a very unusual solution. Workers heard a cry for help coming from a flooded pit. They decided to check and saw this poor dog with a puppy. Just look at how she begs the rescuer to pull her baby out first.
Welcome back to the life.
After launching, these professional kayakers spotted a poor deer in the strong current. Every time it tried to get out, it was swept away. Until one of the kayakers managed to load it right onto his kayak. Wow, the deer's gonna remember this swim for the rest of its life. This couple definitely wasn't expecting to see this while out on a date in nature. They immediately rushed to help the baby cow, who was rightly terrified, but fine. This eagle couldn't get food for itself and was critically exhausted, so it crawled out onto the road to beg for help, where it was noticed by a wildlife rehabilitation worker named Martin. He tried his best to help the bird. Unfortunately, not everyone can be saved.
You're still living, kiddo.
And when I have to put an eagle to sleep, it's a very, very bad day.
A poor roe deer lost her home and her entire family in a forest fire. She miraculously managed to survive thanks to these firefighters. A hurricane took everything from an elderly woman, even her best friend. After resigning herself to the loss, the universe suddenly presented her with a gift.
Hi, puppy. Dog. Oh, baby.
She still had what she cared about most. Two bucks fought so fiercely to determine which of them was the alpha male that they locked antlers and tumbled right into a freezing river. They had no choice but to accept help from this man with a saw and forget that it ever happened. This horse survived its worst nightmare when he was locked in a stable while it was on fire, but the horse was able to get out, and now it will be taken care of. This bear found a way to open a tin can, but got its tongue stuck in it. Just imagine, it was smart enough to turn to humans for help. Fortunately, people weren't afraid of the huge beast and organized an entire rescue operation for the bear. Here's what circus life can do to the king of the beasts. He was rescued by a volunteer, but the authorities wouldn't allow her to keep the animal. But the lion didn't trust anyone else, so he stopped eating. The only way to save him was to reunite them. Nearly 1-year-old Asha weighed about 13 kilograms when she was found in a traveling circus. But just look at how she transforms with a little care. Believe it or not, a pack of wild pigs actually brought their kids to play at the playground. All except 2 of the piglets were able to find their way out, so people had to call the fire department to help. These girls usually check floating birds' nests just in case, but not this time. 2 newborn chicks miraculously survived, but they were doomed if they didn't get food and warmth. Luckily, they have a new mom now. We will never know whether this monkey would have had the strength to swim to shore or not, but it's clear as day that little Jack Sparrow knows exactly what humans are for and how to use them properly. What could be worse for a young, spunky dog than losing 2 of its paws at the same time? Just look at how happy she is to be able to run again. I have no idea how a cat got on the 34th floor, but these people did the impossible to save the last of her 9 lives. A curious bear found a barrel in the middle of the forest and decided to find out what was inside, and it turned out to be a trap. If he only knew how lucky he was that people were passing by.
There you go. Easy. Keep it going. Don't stop. He's got it. There you go. Heads up, bud. Attaboy.
This man sees a sheep stuck in the snow and decides to help it, but even he has no idea how good his deed is. A poor mare fell into the drain and couldn't get out by itself. It took 6 types of equipment and 12 people to free the animal. And the horse never would have been able to make it through the nightmare without this guy's support.
Yeah.
If you thought that quicksand was just something made up by filmmakers, then you were wrong. In just a matter of hours, a huge camel was stuck in quicksand right up to its chest. By the end of the day, no one would have even known that it was there, but luckily, someone noticed the animal in time.
Yay! Woo! Well done, everyone!
Nobody cared about this freezing crow, and it had already accepted its fate, but this woman decided otherwise. Not only did she warm the bird up, she also melted my heart. The last thing you expect to see at a construction site is a deer. A little while longer and it would have stayed there forever, but workers saved the deer the only way they knew how. In a last-ditch effort, this soldier rushed to a baby deer's rescue despite the fact that it had already sunk. Nothing is more important to a real hero than saving a life, even such a tiny one. Who would have thought that such a small well could become the final resting place of such a huge moose? But hypothermia had taken its toll. It took 7 grown men to free the animal. A penguin found a refuge while trying to escape a predator and got stuck. Fortunately, the penguin was lucky enough to meet a human in the middle of desolate Antarctica. Just look at how happy it is that they met. This soldier is taking on his most important mission ever, and thanks to his efforts, this stork will bring many more babies into the world. A mother leopard's babies fell into a trap while she was out hunting, and she never would have seen them again if it hadn't been for these good people. This dehydrated leopard got its head stuck in a metal vessel, so it just sat in the middle of the road, hoping to receive help from people. Look at how the predator bravely tolerates handling while being rescued. That's enough for today, because I'm all out of tears. If you've ever had to save an animal, be sure to tell us about it in the comments. Everyone should know about the heroes among us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you.